All right, Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashak Malak Yahushai. It is to say Yahweh, being named the Heavenly Father, who we call God, and Yahweh Shai, being named His only begotten Son, who we are able to call Jesus Christ. This is Brother Gasadi from Liberty Fire Jersey, Philly. And Salakia for the the long awaited due, so to speak, about a month. It's been about a month since we did our last Watchmen Wednesday. We had a few different feast days, specifically the feast of dedication that was on back-to-back Wednesday nights, the first and the last day. So that of course, we wasn't able to get in there, but nevertheless, we back with it again, and it's a lot of things that's going on the earth. Over here as being watchmen for Israel, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, it's a heavy spirit of prophecy that we like to push out, through the spirit of the Lord on this in our camp, in our congregation. If you've been following WFI longer, as long as I've known the brothers and as long as we've had this camp, it's always been heavy prophecy. And the time now more than ever, you're seeing all the different things that the Most High has spoken of in the Bible play and unfold in these last days. And, that's why through the spirit is very important that every Wednesday night, at least, at the very minimum, given that, brothers make different videos on this channel and different channels all throughout Israel. But at the very minimum, we want to make sure that there's at least some dedicated time to strictly going over the different events that's happening on the earth and linking it up with the prophecies of the Bible. So we're going to kick it off right with the book of Habakkuk. So just to let you know, we're not going into the book of Genesis, right? We're not going into Exodus and Leviticus and going into the law. There's not this video, right? We have other videos, exhortation, so on and so forth. There's different congregations out here that go into different things, but we're going to stick in the prophecies, right, on Watchmen Wednesdays through the spirit of power of Yahweh Shem Shai. Right, so this is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and we want to get verse 1. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 1, and it reads, it says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Right, so we have to stand upon his watch. We can't pick and choose when we want to be on the watch. We have to stand on the watch. You understand? We have to let the people know what's going on. We have to, everyone that's, and Shalom to everyone that is tuning in, Lion of Judah, Azariah, Chris Shakur, Yafri, Don Israel, Desmond Smiley, Feed Me Righteously, Princess, I don't want to mispronounce your name, sister, Lion of Judah, and so on and so forth, and everyone that's watching this and will watch, Lord willing. But as everyone is watching, you got to be watching, right? You have to be watching. Maybe you have a Twitter account. I think it's called X right now. So you have an X account. You watching different YouTube videos. We went through it before, but you can check out Mark Fugel TV. You can check out Canadian Prepper. You can check out. There's a lot of different YouTubers that you could check out. Outside of us, but these different men who provide updates as well, right? The whistleblowers, so to speak, and men that have these different connections. Even in the military, so let's continue on. So the Lord told us to watch. We're reading on. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. And every single time we go into these prophecies, these may be written these are written thousands of years ago. Thousands of years ago. We in 2023 AD. There wasn't a new prophecy written in 2023. The Lord didn't write something new in 2022. These things weren't written in the year 2000. There are a lot of brothers that said the year 2000, X, Y, and Z is going to happen, and nothing happened. These things were written thousands of years ago. You understand? Habakkuk during about 2,500 years ago. Ezra, 2,500 years ago. These different men, thousands of years ago, and they're happening right now. Why? Because the Lord's word is true. The Lord told you these different visions is going to be written. It had to be plain upon tables. So in the last days, that when we read it, we can easily link up the different things that's happening in the Bible to the things that's happening in the earth right now. And we're going to go into it. There's a new outbreak happening in China and in Russia and in all the UK. Europe, there's a new thing going on, a new outbreak right now, a new sickness. We want to use wisdom on this platform. There's a new sickness going on, right? There's ships that's being stopped in the Mediterranean Sea by the Hatu or whatever their name is, the Houthis, Yemen. I just say the people that's live in Yemen, right? Those Yemenis people, they're stopping the Israelis. They're stopping. It's like another brother about to hop in there in a second, but they're stopping these different commerce ships that's over in the Mediterranean Sea. So that's why America just came out with a 10-nation coalition, which we're going to go into. But did you know that's biblical prophecy? Did you know the Lord said it was going to happen in the book of Isaiah, the 23rd chapter, Ezekiel, the 27th chapter, Revelation, the 18th chapter? We're going to go into these different things, right? And Shalom, King.
Khan, shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom. So yeah, I'm gonna continue on real quick in Habakkuk. Right, so reading on Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So the Lord said these different visions, they're set up for an appointed time. The Lord has everything set up for an appointed time. The time you found out about the truth, that was appointed in the foundation of the world. The time that Adam went off, the time that Israel fell away from the Lord, the northern tribes fell away, this kingdom being split, David doing the things that he did. These different forefathers, everything that's set up in the Bible, everything that we go through, everything that's happening in the earth is all for an appointed time, right? And these prophecies are written so that in these last days, when they are happening, we can easily look and say, okay, well, the Lord said that in Joel. The Lord said that in Zechariah. The Lord said this in Revelation. The Lord said this in Second Ezra. So it's not a mystery. We got another brother hopping in this. Shalom, King.
Shalom, shalom.
I'm gonna get another precept real quick. Then brothers got it, right? So this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 15 and verse number 1. It says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Right? So the Lord said these different things, these words, they're prophecy. And this prophecy is faithful and true. So they're written down because in these times right now, and we can look at them and be like, look, okay, this is about to happen next. Because these different signs have been happening. And the Most High told us to measure down the time diligently in itself. And when part of the signs pass, then know it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, paraphrasing, in 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. Right? So again, we just laying the groundwork. We're gonna get into the different current events that's happening. But this is not a breakdown on roof. Right? So Lord willing, you keeping watch, and Most High willing, we're gonna do the job that the Most High has inspired us to do through the Spirit to help you keep watch on this Wednesday night. The brothers got it.
I'll get into it real quick. The classic in Isaiah 46 and verse 10. It says, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure. So as we go into every Watchmen Wednesday, everything that's going on is of the Lord. The Lord, he declared it from the beginning, and it's being foreshown right now, as not foreshown, but shown right now through the things that are going on in the earth. All these things that you see rising up, plagues, nation rising against nation, the uproars of all the people. Hey, it was written of before times. It was written so the watchmen and the people that are truly in this truth can look at these things and one, warn the people, and two, prepare themselves. Like the Lord says, to prepare thyself for the battle, man.
Hey King, you hit mute by accident. You talking about? Oh, you see that? Satan try to get him out of there.
No, that was madness. I don't know what was going on. just muted me and kicked me off on backstage.
Right.
Calm. But as I was saying, hey, we gotta understand all these things. They show us that they'll show us what time we are living in. And when we look at these things going on and we read the Bible verses, we dive into the scripture, we dive into prophecy, all we can understand and understand through the spirit is that we are in the end times. This is the end. Hey, all hell can break loose tomorrow. And we understand that when we go through these things. But brothers got it.
Kind of, y'all can hear me, right?
Con.
Kind of like these brothers is bringing out the Most High. He set up these judgments and these prophecies for us as a people to watch and to gauge the times that we're living in. Just like the brother read in Second Ezra, the 9th chapter. Right, all these judgments, all these prophecies, they're set up to let us know that we living in the end. Really, like that we living in the times in which the prophets prophesied of, the times that Yahweh Shai said he was going to make his second return. And even though it might seem slow, sometimes it might seem like nothing's happening. You always got to keep watch. You always got to make sure you looking, you doing your research, you digging into these different alternative media sources, because the mainstream, like we always bring out, they not really going to tell you what's going on. Your local CBS and your ABC, they're set up by these different like people say shadow governments and deep states and the rulers that be, the powers that be, to keep you docile, to keep you out of the know, to keep you ignorant of what's going on in the world. So you really got to do your digging to see what's going on in the earth, right? I'll bring out Zephaniah 3 and verse number 5. It says, "The just Lord is in the midst thereof; he will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame." So it says the Most High, he brings his judgment to light every morning, right? So that means what? You should be watching endlessly, tirelessly to see what the Most High he's saying, because again, these prophecies, this is his word. This is how the Most High is speaking in these last days. Even if you read Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, I'll read that real quick. I don't know if a brother brought that out yet. Um,
I did, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
the brother was in it.
okay. So you already heard that. So the Most High, the scriptures are speaking right now. So you have to be listening to what the Most High, what he's saying in his word and what he's saying in the earth. Brother got it.
Con. Absolutely. That was mighty points, games. Now, so we're going to get into some of these things that's happening right now. I'm gonna share my screen in a second. Let me see if I got this pulled up. Give me 1 second. Let me find this real quick. Right, because and Lord willing, again, like we already mentioned, the people that we are following on Twitter, make sure you're checking them out as well. These different things that's happening, it's very important. Actually, this is something I want to go into. I'm gonna share my screen. All right, share the screen. Okay, come. Let me know if y'all can see this, Kings. Come. All praise to the Most High. All right, so as you see on the screen, and this is from the End Times headlines, right? I'm sure Israel, you've known about this already, but in End Time headlines, this is at 9:42, about an hour ago. It says that U.S. troops have been warned of an imminent attack in the Red Sea. Now, the U.S. troops, if you don't know just yet, America just created this coalition of 10 nations, and this coalition is to prevent the Yemen, right? I was going to say their name they're going by, the Hatutsis. I believe that's how you say it. But they've been attacking a lot of commerce ships over in the Mediterranean and Red Sea as we speak. So America has created this league, so to speak, or coalition of 10 different nations to prevent that. Now I want to, well, before we get into this article, I'll show this 10 nations coalition that they had created. Right. So this is from Omaha.com. It says the U.S. announces 10-nation coalition to secure Red Sea shipping against Houthi, if I'm saying that right,
It's
attacks. Right.
Hoot,
So who is it? Is
Houthi.
that Houthis?
Yeah, Houthis.
Okay,
Yeah.
Khan. That's a name right there. But continuing on, right? So it says the United States on Monday announced a 10-nation coalition to quell the Houthi missile and drone attacks on ships transiting the Red Sea. So Britain is a part of this thing. You got France, you got Bahrain, right, which is a small little country. If I'm not mistaken, is right near. Let's look it up. I don't want to. Yes, I know it's in the Persian Gulf, but I'm going to show exactly where that's at. Because
It's
all these
right
little
up.
nations, they're coming together. Say that again, King.
It's right above Madagascar, right over there near Africa. No, wait.
So you have Qatar.
I'm thinking about. Never mind. Go ahead.
Khan. So you have Qatar right here. You have Saudi Arabia. You have the UAE, which is United Arab Emirates. And so you have all in this region right here. There's a lot of activity going on. There's the Persian Gulf. You have even over here, of course, the actual Mediterranean Sea, which is on the coast of Israel. You have the Red Sea, right, which is a lot. This is pretty much where the nations are going right now. So you have these different countries. We're going to go back to the countries that America is setting up to all work together. So again, you got Britain, France, Bahrain, whatever. It says in Italy, among countries joining the multinational security initiative. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the security coalition also included the U.S., Canada, Netherlands, Norway, Seychelles, if I pronounced that right, and Spain. Now, I think you were going to go into this country right here. I think they're near Yemen. They're near Yemen.
Seychelles. That's the country I was talking about. It's right off the coast of Africa, really, on the eastern part.
Right. Right. So you got Madagascar right here, like the brother was talking about, and you got Seychelles. And actually, there's a lot of Israelites over there, from what I looked at. This is actually a port. This wasn't an established country until after the British brought slaves over here to this area. Of course, you got heathen. Most of these African countries are heathens, but you got some Israelites over in this land as well. You got Somalia, you got Tanzania. That's an area you can check out. So you got these different nations that's coming together to fight against these Houthis. I'm gonna go back to this article, then brothers can get in there. So it says the U.S. troops have just been warned of an imminent attack in the Red Sea, and of course that happens right after they formed the coalition. Now, just supposedly, it's an imminent attack about to happen over in the Red Sea, the same area that they're now bringing all their troops over to. Well, not all of them, but bringing this coalition over to, and that's Satan. Your brothers go off. All right, continuing on. So it says a Houthi rebel leader has warned of retaliatory efforts against American warships if the Yemeni group is targeted by the U.S. as part of a newly launched operation to counter attacks on commercial shipping in the Red Sea. And we're going to go into the significance as well. If you're not really putting two and two together just yet, if they're attacking commercial ships, what does that mean about the rest of the world and the merchandise that goes on in the world? So I'm going to continue on with the article. It says, the warning comes a day after Houthi rebels based in Yemen attacked two commercial shipping vessels south of the Red Sea. A spokesperson for the Houthi rebels said on Monday they attacked two vessels that had alleged links to Israel. That's that new thing they might use, alleged links. So they could just attack any ship because it allegedly is connected to Israel. In response, the U.S. is leading a new international force, Operation Prosperity Guardian, to ensure that the region remains safe for commercial shipping despite the Houthi rebel attacks. So this is what's going on. It says Houthis and Iranian militia groups have launched rockets at Israel since the war in the region began following Hamas' surprise attack on the country on October 7th, Reuters reported. So if brothers want to get in there, I got a precept I'm thinking about right now too. Just going into this the significance of the commercial shipping vessels being all these ships being destroyed. Brothers got it though.
I'm gonna get into it real quick. Just to kind of map out what's going on. The brother, he showed a map, but this is big. This is nothing Slovakia. This is nothing small that we're going into. The brother was saying, you got ships being attacked, you got coalitions being made. Hey, I was just reading on Twitter that Yemen, they're only letting certain ships go through. I believe it was I don't know, brothers can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's only Russian oil tankers.
I don't know the exact ships, but I did see they only letting certain go through.
Yeah,
it would make sense for the Russian. Yeah.
Yeah. No, okay. Let me see if I can find that man. But let me share my screen real quick. I'm gonna try to find that man. Okay. Let me know if I'm sharing it.
Con, you in there, King?
Con. So this is what I wanted to show right here. So this is a man. He's a so-called journalist, and he said Yemen has set back Western trade 200 years and done what Egypt today could not: close the Red Sea. Evergreen, BP, and others are too scared to send ships to Israel and have stopped going through the Red Sea entirely. It's back to taking the long, expensive way around Africa. So you can see they kind of did a little map of the how they used to take the so-called Suez Canal, which is the Red Sea, going through the Red Sea to do trade with oil, with certain products, but now they have to go all the way around. So what we're seeing is going to be a backup. I believe they said 2 weeks. The estimated time, it'll be around 2 weeks of a backup. That's a big hit to the economy, especially if you're dealing with oil, because a lot that's coming around here is oil. Now I'm gonna try to find this dude on Twitter, because he said, what's his name? I'm gonna type it in. Aussie. Cosette. Scroll down a bit. This is what I want right here. It says Yemen grants free passage only to tankers carrying Russian oil via the Red Sea to the Suez Canal. Western ships can either sail 15,000 miles around Africa, go via Russia's northern Arctic route, or rail via Russia. And it says Putin wins again. So what we're seeing here is this tactics of war. We're seeing tactics that nations will use against other nations to implement war, to weaken other nations. This is what's going on right now. Don't be ignorant of this matter. People are looking at this and, it's nothing. It's just Yemen. What does Yemen have to do with anything? Hey, look, this is big, like the brother was just saying. This is nothing small. See, Russia, they're getting stronger with this move. And America, Babylon, is only getting weaker. Right now, we're seeing a weakening of Babylon through all these tactics that other nations are using against America. Like the Lord said, let me get that precept real quick. I believe that's in Joel. I'm about to find it though. Hey, the Lord said, hey, let the weak say that I'm strong. brothers know that off the top of their head.
Well, let the we say am I strong?
Yeah.
That's Joel the third chapter. Joel
Joel the
3,
third chapter. Yeah.
and you
I
can
might have
start
to
at
find
11.
it. You said verse 11?
Yeah, come.
Yeah, it should be. It should be. Joel.
Joel chapter 3 and start at verse um yeah, you can start at 9. Start at 9. I can read it for you.
Con,
Need be.
I'll read it. I'm there. Joel 3 and verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. So this is a war tactic. You know, whether you believe it or not, whether you think it's something small or insignificant, this is a war tactic. Or one way a nation will war against another nation is by hitting their economy. You know, we were just talking about it and watching movies. Or talking about watching the movie. What's that movie that just came out that we've been talking about?
Leave the world behind.
Yeah, Leave the World Behind. Hey, one of the ways that the nation attacked America was by doing a cyber attack on them, shutting down the electrical grid. These are how the nations operate through war. It's not only just through you have 1,000 men on one side and 1,000 men on the other side, and they just start shooting guns at each other. Hey, they do it through other ways, attacking economically, a cyber attack, electrical grid attack. You know, doing all sorts of things, causing pandemonium, you know, causing upwards civil wars within the city through people that broke through the ranks and are hiding amongst the Americans. Hey, that's how other nations will get down. So what we're seeing here with Yemen only granting free passage to Russian oil, to tankers carrying Russian oil, that would be a so-called war tactic that Yemen and Russia are using to weaken America, to weaken NATO, to weaken all the people America's in alliance with, man. That's a way to do it. But let me finish up the precept. It says, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And that's what Yemen's doing right now. 10 years ago, people will laugh at Yemen. They'll say, what the Yemen? They might scoff. They might say, Yemen's shutting this down. Hey, America's not gonna take that. Even I'll say even 5 years ago, maybe before COVID. But now people are looking at this and they're saying, oh, they might be doing something. They're looking at this and Yemen, they're stepping up, man. You know, Yemen before they weren't doing all this. They weren't having all this power. Allowing only Russian oil tankers to go through. But now Yemen, they're the weak, saying that they're strong, and they're opposing a big military tactic against the United States and all the people that's alive with, man. It's big. It's big. It's nothing small. But brothers got it. That's all I have on that.
Con. I want to say one thing real quick before the brother get in there. Just to link up what the brother was saying, if you did watch that movie, Leave the World Behind, the first major thing that happened in the movie was it was an oil ship. It was a big. If it wasn't an oil ship, then it was a merchandise ship, a commerce ship that actually crashed into the side of the beach. And I got it. I'm gonna pull it up real quick, and then Yazra, you can get in there. But the Lord is showing. It's no coincidence that movie dropped in November. They didn't just make it in November. They've been made that movie, and all the while, a lot of those things are happening right now. The Most High is using different things in this earth, as far as media, music, just different artists trying to wake up and tell you who they are, tell you who you are, being an Israelite. These different signs are happening in the earth to compel the earth, really the Israelites that's in the earth, to repent. Right? These different things are happening because we know we in the end of the world. Right? But I'm gonna show this real quick. Then you got it, Yazra. If I can share my screen. There we go. So yeah, not to spoil the movie, and it's not a full breakdown on the movie or anything like that. But this was the ship at the very beginning of the movie that crashed in to the side of this beach over in New York. And if you go, if you this white lion has another meaning, you would look up the white lion ship. But nevertheless, they were showing you that something's going to happen with America, ships, so on and so forth. And all the while, there's now a coalition to protect the cargo that's traveling in the earth. Like Yatazma was just going into, that's a very significant thing, and we're gonna continue to go into it on why that's so important and how it links up with these scriptures. But you got it, King.
No, I just wanted to make the point that this is not just some random act that's going on. It's not. These things are planned. You understand? Like these nations, these Houthis are backed by a bigger nation. I want to share my screen real quick because once you get the understanding of who the Houthis are and who they're backed by, it's not a coincidence that things are happening, right? So it's been a minute. Let me see. Do I share just the window, right? Just a
Yeah,
tad.
click window. No, not. Well, you can do tab, but
All right.
we did window. Either one.
Okay. Because the Houthis, they're part of the same. They call it the axis of resistance, right? So I just want to share my screen and give brothers and sisters to understand it. Now they have a thing in the Middle East called the axis of resistance, and they're all nations that are backed by Iran. So the same thing that Hamas is backed by, the same thing that the ones in Lebanon, just is on the tip of my tongue.
Hezbollah.
Yeah, Hezbollah. They're all backed by Iran. So this is Iran through Russia stirring this all up. This all one. That's why the brother pointed out that they're letting Russian backed ships with oil go through because this is all the doing. This is all these nations coinciding and coming together and making coalitions and having backdoor plans against the West and against America, right? So, is this what I wanted? Is this a good matter of fact? I'm gonna just go to Wikipedia and show this. Let's just go here. Right. It says the term axis of resistance is a label used by pro-Iranian commentators to refer to an informal, anti-Israeli, and anti-Western political and military coalition led by the Iranian government. So we already know Iran, their um, enemy number one is America and Israel. So we already know this whole thing is getting led by them, but it's really again is through Russia, and I'll go to a precept to back that up. But this is all a plan. This is all planned out, like the brother was saying. This isn't just something. This is a big thing that's happening, and it's more than just what it looks like on the surface, right? It says it includes the Syrian Arab Republic, Lebanese Shia militant group Hezbollah, and various militant groups in Palestine, which is what Hamas and these different, because it's more than just Hamas and Palestine. It's like 12 factions of militias over there, right? It says despite their alliances, differing ideologies, they are all unified by their declared objectives of opposing the activities of pro-Western parties, Israel, Arab Gulf states, Sunni jihadists, and the MEK in the region. Right. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. But this is all. It's not. This is not a coincidence. That all this is happening. First, you have Hamas, and then you have Hezbollah, and now you have the Houthis doing what they're doing. This is all one big plan that's happening through Iran, and this is basically them doing what? Having proxy war with the U.S. What making their crumbling their economy because again, they already know that the U.S. is on its way out. They already know that the U.S. is headed towards recession, and this is what just speeding those things up. Like, I want to Ezekiel 30. Let me go to 38. Right, this is Ezekiel 38 and verse 2. It says, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. So what? Gog, the land of Magog, that's all talking about what? Russia, modern day Russia. So we're going to see that what? Russia is leading these nations, right? Is backing all of these different nations, Iran being one of them, right? It says, and say, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all of thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, with a great company, with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Verse 5, and this is the point. It says, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. In the modern day term, the modern day place of Persia is what? Iran. Even if you go over to Iran, a lot of them still call themselves Persian. You can look that up. They still call their land Persia. So what? It's saying um, that Russia is what is backing Persia, that is backing Iran. So all these things that happening, again, it's a plan. This has all been planned out and sought out by what? By BRICS, by all these different nations that are trying to be the new world power and coming up against the West. Right. So but you got it.
Con. And like the brother was going into, these different things, when you read in the scripture, another term for these different nations forming together, the axis of resistance, that's what the world will call them. But according to the Bible, that'd be, the kings of the East. So we can see the kings of the East in the Bible, and we link it up with what's happening in the earth. You see these different prophecies happening in the Bible, and you link it up to what's happening in the earth. And you continue to use the Bible as a foundation to see these different events that's happening. They're not random. These are by the hand of the Most High, like this brother had put out in this the comment section, right? It's all by the hand of the Most High. So I'm gonna go. I had another article I wanted to pull up real quick, and then I'm gonna share my screen in a second, right? Because I had something else. So again, with this going on, and Yatazmak, he had alluded to it, all these different events that's happening in the Red Sea, these ships that's being stopped. I mean, look how much cargo is on these ships. These aren't regular boats. I mean, it's literally hundreds of different I forget to pronounce the correct term to call these different things, shipping containers, right? These are shipping containers. These are hundreds, if not 1,000, all lined up. So this is definitely going to hinder the supply chain, and it's definitely going to hinder the so-called logistics system over in America and these different nations. Because like the brother was showing, I believe it's going to go. It goes into it on how the whole, the normal route, it changes tremendously, and it's actually going to delay all the shipments about 34 days out. I'm not going to read this whole article, but you can check this out as well, right, by Mark Tyson. Now, he had published this a day ago. It says attacks on Red Sea shipping likely to impact PC and electronic shipments to Europe. Expect delays and more costly products. Now, if you jump down, I'm gonna jump down right here. It says the aggression is aimed at Israel-bound ships, and it shows support to Hamas, says the Houthi perpetrators. However, there are multiple reports of ships with no links to Israel being targeted by drones and missiles. Right? Like I said earlier, all they got to say is, "Oh, we thought that was a Israeli ship." Right? And that's why we attacked it. That's why we destroyed it. But this is going to impact the America. Let me get a quick preset right before I continue on. This is about to impact America. This is impacting Europe. And it's the whole damn world is about to be jammed up because of what's going on in this Red Sea. And isn't that spiritual even to think about? 4,000 years ago, we was delivered. The Lord sent Moses. Moses parted the Red Sea to deliver the Israelites out of Egypt, and we walked into the land of Israel. And 4,000 years later, in 2023 AD, the Lord is stirring up the whole world and getting a 10-nation coalition against the axis of resistance or the kings of the East, Iran, Russia, Yemen, so on and so forth. And they're doing so in the Red Sea. I mean, the Most High is putting it right in your face. He just told you what it's about. This is to show, this is to bring us back to our land. This is not a light event, right? Let me get this real quick. Actually, I'm gonna get this other precept first. Then I'm gonna come back to this. Right. So this second Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 8, right? The classic. It says, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood cry unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore, say Yahweh, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. So the Lord has heard the sighing and the crying of the children of Israel and the different lands that we've been scattered in. Right, reading on. Verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Israel. It's like in Egypt. Now, Ezra was around the time of the Medo-Persian Empire, right? Around the late 400 BC, right? So Israel wasn't in the land of Egypt during this time. We weren't in captivity to Egypt. And again, even when we start the top of this chapter, this is prophecy. This is things that are going to happen in times to come, following Ezra, right? So this is clearly showing you this land of Egypt that the Lord is talking about is another captivity that Israel is going to go into in the last days, which is none other than America right now. Reading on, verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Because the different things that happened to Egypt, and the Most High is bringing that back on America right now, showing you that this is modern day Egypt. Now, one of the things that the Most High had did in the land of Egypt was not only bring a famine, right? It's different, 10 plagues that happened, but one of them being a famine. In a lot of these shipping containers, they most likely will house some type of food products. I believe when that pestilence that happened in 2019 and 2020, if you know what we're talking about, you should know what we're talking about. But it stopped a lot of truckers because a lot of the cargo ships wasn't actually being docked to America anymore. So events like this it surely is going to bring about the same exact thing. And the Lord told us this in Second Ezra, the 6th chapter. Right, it's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Because events like this, and we're going to read it, right? Events like this is going to stop commerce and delay different goods for days, weeks. It actually says, according to the latest BBC analysis, severe disruption of global supply chains is expected due to the ongoing Red Sea attacks. Many of the world's biggest shipping companies, like MSC, Maersk, if I said that right, Hapag Lloyd, ICT, and Evergreen are thus making plans to reroute or actively rerouting ships. Attacks on shipping in the Red Sea have steadily increased since the onset of the Israel-Hamas war in October. And time has flown by pretty fast. I mean, this thing happened October 7th. We already in December 20th. It felt like this just happened, but, time is speeding up. It says rerouting these massive container ships isn't trivial. It says, for example, a typical electronics consignment from Taiwan to the Netherlands will take around 25 days via the Suez Canal, which is where your Tasmach just went into, which links the Red Sea and the Mediterranean. If instead the ships are routed past the notoriously choppy ocean by the Cape of Good Hope, South Africa, the journey is typically 34 days, as well as the impact on time. The journey distance is about 35% greater. So it's about a third greater because it has to actually reroute. And that has more manpower, more labor. You understand? More things can actually happen. The Most High can jam that whole sea up, and then you got or jam that ship up, and then you got this whole ship full of damn hundreds of thousands of cargo shipping containers, all being destroyed. It says with all the extra costs involved. So this is not a light thing. We got other articles, but if brothers want to get in there, you can just stop me real quick. If not, I'm gonna pull up this next article, right? Because these different things is very important, Israel. You definitely gotta be watching right now. Now was not the time to worry about football. It's not. It's really not the time to worry about that, right? And if your favorite team is the Philadelphia Eagles, look, I don't know what's going on, but look, it's definitely not the time to worry about the Eagles, right? The Eagles damn losing every damn day now, right? Your favorite basketball teams, all that's about to be shut down. Didn't that happen during that pestilence in 2019? They all was shut down. It's always to a halt. So you want to press pause on that, and you want to make sure that you're paying attention and you keeping watch of all the prophecies, all the different things that's happening, because this time is speeding up like that. You understand? They just said earlier, an hour ago, well, 2 hours ago now, there's an imminent attack in a Red Sea that they're waiting for. You understand? So this is another article. This is a Telegraph. It says, and brothers can hop in there because I can't see you right now. I can only see my screen. But it says a bulk carrier is hijacked by Somali pirates as experts fear a Houthi alliance. And this is December 17th. So not only is Yemen involved in this, but now the Somalians are involved as well. Why? Because like the brother Yazra was going into, this is a group. They just like America just made this new coalition, the Prosperity Guardian. They always want to fame themselves to be guardians, avengers, protectors of the world, when they're the ones destroying the world. But nevertheless, you got this axis of resistance. They're going to continue to link up too. They're going to continue to spin the block as well. They all in on this. They ready for this. They not worrying about whatever America's talking about, because the Lord is stirring up their minds to go to war. I'm going to get a precept. This Revelation, chapter 16 and verse number 12. It says, actually, I want to get right to it. I'm going to jump to verse 12. It says, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon a great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. The point being, actually, I'm going to jump to verse 14, right? So the Lord is stirring up the spirit of all the nations, all the kings of the east, or the kings of the earth, really, to go to war, chiefly those of the east, but all nations will be brought over to the so-called Middle East, right? Jump into verse 14. For they are the spirits of devils working miracles. So the Lord has demons sent out in the earth to stir up the minds of all the kings of the earth to go to war. It would make perfect sense for the world to continue to trade in unison and everyone's on the same page and everyone to fight against the Israelites. That'll make perfect sense. But it's not that, the Lord is stirring up their minds. And then they're all fighting for power, and the normal order of things, the new world order of things, is being overthrown. Now you're about to see a new world order, which is the rise of the Israelites ruling the entire world. And that's not going to be another order after that. That's under the order of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's ordained from the foundation of the world. That's never going to be broken or diminished ever again, right? And you're going to see them turn their attention from this war to fighting against us, and then they're going to try to fight against Yahushua. Let's read on. It says, working miracles which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to the battle of that great day of Yahweh Almighty. And what's that great day? The Lord is talking about them fighting against each other in the battle with Jehoshaphat, fighting against each other in the lands over in the region of Israel, Saudi Arabia, so on and so forth, over in that part of the world, the so-called Fertile Crescent. And then after that, they're going to have the battle of Armageddon fighting against Yahushua, like you read about in Revelation, the 19th chapter. So these different nations, their minds have been stirred up, right? Everyone, I mean, it's war all throughout the earth. Doesn't matter if you're in Taiwan, doesn't matter if you're in North Korea, South Korea, you in China, you in America, you're in Italy. Every damn nation is ready to go to war. You don't have to wait for a big event to happen to know you're in World War III. This is the world at war. World War III literally means the world at war, the third time it happened on the earth. It happened in the early 1900s. It ended in 1917. They called it the Great War. You had World War II started in 1930s and ended in 1945 when FDR dropped the bombs on Japan. Now you're about to have this third war, the third Great War or the third World War, where all the nations are going to war with each other, and it's starting right now. The brothers got it.
Con. And just then, like the brother's saying, it's gonna be the world at war. The whole world, all these nations. Just then, it says Denmark will join the US coalition to protect civilian vessels in the Red Sea. So you're gonna see everybody in this. You're gonna see Denmark, you're gonna see Finland, you're gonna see all these smaller nations that you might say, what are they on the global scale? They're not Russia, they're not China, they're not Iran, they're not Japan, these bigger militaries that are going to try to chip into the war, because all these nations, they have to get ready for this, man. That's the Lord bringing up all the nations, preparing all the nations for war, like we were reading in Joel, the 3rd chapter, like the brother was just going into. This has to happen. Now, there's another thing, because not, like I said, Denmark, they said they're joining the U.S. coalition, but, not to even dive off the point, you see all these, North Korea just made a declaration. I think you said that in the chapter site, but they made another one that's saying that, look, these drills that the United States and South Korea are running, we're going to view them as a declaration of war. Now, North Korea, they've been talking for a while. I can attest to that. They've been talking for a while, but hey, look, they're going to do something soon. And they're going to do something real soon. This talking is going to start going into action. Because right now, people that are seeing these words and they're being, what's the word? Not dumbed down, but it's when you've been desensitized. So when they see North Korea make these threats, they're not running to the basement and saying we gotta get into the nuclear basement, and the covenant. They're not doing that. They see these things and they laugh. Hey, but these things, hey, they're gonna come to pass, and they're gonna come, and this is why the Lord talks about as a thief in the night, because we don't know when the Lord is coming. We don't know when this day is gonna come. We don't know when all hell's about to break loose and this is gonna fold, because it was gonna happen as soon as these nations said it. Hey, everyone will know. Everyone will be prepared. But right now, people are being desensitized. But let me just pull. Oh, I'm gonna read it actually. Just to touch on it, man. Because what we're going into is World War III, man. The title of this video is U.S. declares war against Yemen. They have drones. Oh, they're shooting at Yemen drones. They're shooting at each. Look, there's a lot going on over there, man. A lot. And you have other nations, they're joining the coalition. This is just I won't even say a preview, but it's a small viewing of what World War III is going to be like. But I'm going to read it. It says North Korea state media, KCNA, released a commentary that stated that upcoming South Korean and United States nuclear drills will be considered as a declaration of war. It also highlighted that the KPA will make sure that these warnings will not just be empty words. So, like I said, North Korea, they've been talking a lot, man. But they're trying to say right now it's not going to be empty words. So we can only hope that Kim Jong-un, he's not just talking, and that he makes action on those words. Because what we're seeing right now, like we keep saying, it's a buildup of World War III. just a build up against it, man. What we see going on in Yemen or against Yemen in the so-called Suez Canal, that's all we're seeing is the build up for World War III, the build up for all these prophecies to come to pass, the build up for all the nations to hate the whore and to come against her, man. That's all we're seeing. But brothers got that. I want to touch on that quick point.
Khan, you got anything, Yazra?
Nah, we can keep going.
Okay, Khan. All right, so yeah, we just touched on the significance of that shipping the Red Sea and so on and so forth. We also want to look at this new sickness. Now I'm gonna share my screen. Now if you don't know, actually I'm gonna share my screen first. Oh, you got it, King.
And Slovakia, and real quick, I forgot to make this point. You know, Iran. Before we move on, Iran, they're encouraging. I believe Yazoo was touching on this. Iran's encouraging the Houthi, if that's how you pronounce it, Houthi, Khan
Something like that.
to
Yeah.
Khan, yeah, Khan. But they're encouraging them to attack U.S. warships. Now, a point I wanted to bring up real quick is that when you look into a lot of the major wars that the U.S. has been a part of, a lot of it started with an attack of a ship of the United States. It started with an attack on the ship. Um, I believe it was the Spanish-American War. That was the Remember the Alamo. That started with that. Hey, Pearl Harbor. When the Japanese attacked the ships, that started World War II, or yes, so-called World War II. Hey, oh God, American. Let me say that.
Right.
But a lot of the United States wars and involvements that they were in started with an attack on their ships. Whether it was a warship, a battleship, maybe even a cargo ship, a lot of it started with ships. Even with the so-called Boston Tea Party, when they let me not say that, but a lot of it comes down to ships. We'll say that, but we can move on with that.
Khan. And there's other news happening outside of World War III talk as well. You know, you have which is very important, of course, but you do have things happening inside the country as well. You had just yesterday, if not yesterday, then 2 days ago now, where you had Trump. He's actually been removed from the presidential ballot, right over in Colorado. Their court, they had ruled against him and took pretty much you can't vote for Trump over in Colorado for the presidential election that's coming up in November. So that's a big event. I mean, that would get the whole, they're going to go try to take it to the Supreme Court and see if they can get it overturned. I believe they're going to try to do that in January 4th, they said. But that's a big thing because what is that going to do if it's told that Trump can't run for the upcoming election? I mean, that's going to get these, outwardly showing devil Edomites. I'll put it like that. Because you got the liberals, they try to pretend that they're not that. But the Republicans, the conservatives, they put it out there. And we like that. We like when they show that they're like that, because then we can be the way we want to be, through the spirit. But nevertheless, that's definitely going to start a civil war. If they thought January 6th back in 2021, if that was a big deal in American soil, I mean, it's going to be an actual bloodshed, an actual uprising between the left and the right, let alone them coming against us. But they'll try to get at each other just on that alone, because that's coming at their different amendments. And these American nationalists, they're really big on the U.S. Constitution and their rights if they're violated or not. So there's certain people that's ready to, die for that guy Trump.
Yeah,
now,
well,
you got it, King.
No, I just wanted to make a point. These patriots and these, like you said, these nationalists, they really feel like Trump is like the only guy that's really for them. Like they really feel like he's, because they know about the corrupt government and the deep state and these different people. They really feel like Trump is the actual guy that he's really their leader. So they ready to die about Trump for real.
And I wanted to share this. If you want, 1 second. If you want to go into a little bit more, when I share the screen, let me see. I believe this is what I wanted. Yeah. So this is it right here. So this is Midas Touch. You can check these guys out as well. It's a reputable source as well. But it says major break-in. I'm guessing they meant to put news. The Colorado Supreme Court rules Trump is disqualified from holding office for violating insurrection clause in the U.S. Constitution. So they're saying Trump cannot run for the election, and that's a big thing. It's not a light thing. You even had Tucker Carlson. He was talking about it earlier today, about 7 hours ago. So it got 3 million views. If you read some of these comments, these people are ready to lose it for their guy Trump. So these different, it's so many things that's happening at once. Time will really fail us to go into every single article that's happening in the earth, but you can't be worrying about what's happening. The first thing they got you showing is Lakers at the Bulls. That doesn't matter. Why is that first? Why are they not showing that Civil War is trending? Why the hell is that trending? Why is there 100,000 posts about Civil War in America happening right now? Why are they talking about Darvingham? Why is he not fired yet? Why are they talking about TD Jakes? Why is they listen? You got to know that this is it. This is it. So now it's time to get right. A lot of people, they want to turn their back on the Lord at this time when you're supposed to be trying to serve the Lord and push forward and show the Most High you truly believe in him, you care about him. You got these nations, they ready to die for this thing. Why are you not ready and willing to die for the Most High, but instead we turn our back on the only God of the earth, the only God? So again, it says over here, it's another source, the insider paper, Colorado Supreme Court disqualifies Trump from the 2024 ballot. The Colorado Republican Party says to withdraw from the primary and would convert to a pure caucus system if the Colorado Supreme Court, it's like a Supreme Court's ruling stands. And then Trump responded, and they're going to take this over to the Supreme Court, but the federal Supreme Court. So this is a big thing. I don't know if brothers want to hop back in there, but
a quick point. We talked about at camp last week. They're making that movie called Civil War.
Right.
April. I saw the trailer. I think it's April 23rd. You said.
No, April 23rd is Passover, but yeah, it's gonna. I believe it's April 26th actually.
April 26th. Like you gotta ask you, like the brother said, you gotta ask the question: why is that trending? Why is World War III trending? Why is the Red Sea trending? Hey, people, even the we always say the average Babylonian has a very low IQ and they're very low spiritually, with a spiritual sense of being clocked in. But even the average Babylonian, they're starting to get a whiff of what's going on and starting to see, hey, look, America's, they're getting into hot water. War is brewing up. You got people that are in the whatchamacallit, the Navy, the military, the Army. Hey, they're starting to understand they're about to go to war. They understand that they're about to get shipped out and sent out. I had a family friend that's in the Navy. Hey, he was saying, hey, look, I'm about to get shipped out. I'm about to be shipped out. And he's not in the truth. Like, he don't know. Hey, but he knows that war is brewing up. And he's talking about, I can get more money being shipped out. I'm like, well, look. But, hey, everyone's starting to understand, even the average Babylonian, that we're about to be in war. And that's why you see things trending, like the brother was showing about Civil War, Taiwan, Red Sea. I don't know why TD Jakes is trending, but you see that. Yeah, right.
But yeah, all praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. All these things are happening, and we not in the world to have to deal with the things of the world, the entanglement of the world. The Most High has brought us out of that. Everyone is watching this video. The Lord is giving you grace and mercy to right now have a chance to repent and watch for these prophecies. If all hell would have break loose right now, then you out of this world, right? You got to hold on. We can't be worrying about, as you see, literally the stock market was it damn near crashed earlier today at closing. It closed at 5 p.m. every day, and you can see the yellow line. I mean, it's like, I know he's gonna start talking, right? But you can see this is the S&P 500. This is the 500 biggest companies in the United States, and you see where it was at hours before it actually closed. I mean, we don't have to study chemistry or any top math to see that this line was up here and it ended down here. So that's a real bad thing. You can see all these different numbers. This is all red. The economy was going down. So imagine what happens tomorrow, Thursday, when it opens at 8 a.m. in New York time. Where's the market going to be at then? And what is it going to be at 5 p.m. tomorrow night? And how about Friday? And what's going to happen next Monday? So you see the stock market is crashing. We've seen the ships, they getting jammed up. We seen civil wars trending. We seeing Trump, he might not be able to even run for election. It's not that many more signs the Most High has to show us to let us know that all hell's breaking loose. And I wanted to show this real quick before another brother, if you want to get in there. This guy, this is an Edomite. Now, his name is Shadow of Ezra. Shadow of Ezra got about 176,000 followers, right, on Twitter. Now, this is back in August, but let's check this out. It says, Alexis says there will be no 2024 election because the War Powers Act of 1973 will be invoked. Now, let's see what you said.
You can't hear it, King.
You can't hear this?
Nah.
Nah.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna go back real quick.
You might have to put when you share your screen the sound.
Right.
I believe it's like a check bar.
I got you. Let me see real quick. Okay, I got it now. Okay, let me know if y'all can hear it now.
Hey, want to hear some fucked up shit?
Huh.
Okay, come. All right, so like I was saying, this is Edomite. Let's check it out real quick.
Who will win the next American election?
The 2024 American election will not take place. There will be no winner. War Powers Resolution of 1973 or the War Powers Act will be invoked by the act of war with Russia and China. Once an invoked, the standing party will retain and remain in power.
So we're not saying this is true. You know, this is an Edomite. It is what it is over there. But this is something that you have to keep watch of. As we're making that point of. Keep watch over it. You had something, King? Okay, come. Come. In the second part that we want to go into, we know time is getting a little short, but let me actually stop sharing my screen because it's looking weird. Let me see this real quick. All right, there we go. All right. So the second part we want to go into, like I had titled the video, a new sickness outbreak is happening. And I know even I'll say this real quick, even damn, what happened? Bear with me 1 second. Right, I'll say this, even my own household, we experienced a new damn sickness. I know other brothers as well in WFI, you know, different things going on, and not only in WFI, but of course in all the world. Like I mentioned, Europe. I said that earlier at the top of the live stream. Europe is being affected right now. You got China, you got Russia. So this is a new outbreak on the scene, and it's really in the form of some people are saying it's pneumonia, other people are saying it's a new variant. We'll just say that. So I'm gonna actually show you real quick. I share my screen. Let me see. There we go. All right. So Lord willing, they don't we're not gonna say the word, but Lord willing, they don't jam up the video or the channel because we posting this information. So this is the sun.com. Now it says a devious new variant is behind several bouts or severe bouts, Salakia, of bug as immunity hits record lows before Christmas. So you got this new thing is going on. It's making its way in UK, right? It's jamming up the whole population. There's positive cases of the virus currently surging with about 6,000 people testing positive in England in a week leading to December 9th. So about almost 2 weeks ago. It says this is an increase of 38% compared to the week before. 38%, about a third in 1 week. It says people suffering from the viral infection have warned that it feels as bad or worse than the bug that they caught at the start of the so on and so forth. It says scientists have warned, all right, we can't say certain words, but it says scientists have warned a waning immunity and the virus involving, right, are tipping the scales. So the point of the matter is it may be another shutdown. Actually, there's different whistleblowers that saying they're preparing for another shutdown, right? They're getting their bunkers ready. They're preparing for another shutdown as we speak. So this is not only in UK, but like I mentioned, you got over in Russia. Let's go over to Russia real quick. They're facing this new, they call it a mouse fever outbreak on the front lines. Now, brothers can correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it I think it was the bubonic plague, known as the Black Death, that was brought about in Europe from rats? I believe that's what it was.
Con.
So and I believe one of these lessons we went into, it was a new, let me see, I don't know how to damn pronounce this. Bear with me. Right? Damn butchered that, but that's okay though. All right, so let's check this out. So this is and it's about 2020. There was something more recent than that. If I can find it, but if not, it is what it is. So back to this article I'm gonna check out. So it says Russian soldiers are facing a mouse fever outbreak on the front lines that Ukraine is warning. Let's actually look into this thing real quick. It says Russian troops are dealing with outbreaks of mouse fever. The disease is being carried by rodents in the trenches. Symptoms include sudden intense headaches, fever, chills, and nausea, according to the CDC. Now, it says Ukraine alleges that the Kremlin's infantry along the front lines are now facing outbreaks of mouse fever. Now, this is Ukraine saying this. Now, of course, Russia, they're actually trying to deny this outbreak. But I do want to show a quick little one other thing real quick. Then I'm going to turn it over to so another brother can get in there. I believe I actually just retweeted this, or I might have. Give me 1 second. I have this somewhere. Might have to look it up. Right, but about a few days ago, damn, where the hell is this at? Give me 1 second. Thought I had this, but I'll just put it out there. Putin actually about a few weeks ago, he had pretty much let everyone know that Ukraine was developing a new plague over in their labs. Actually, I have it right here. It says Russia warns U.S. military is creating new deadly mega, that word right there, in Ukraine lab. So let's actually check out this article real quick. So this is the People's Voice.tv. So they're saying that Ukraine and America is up to this over in our lab. And this is December 15th or December 12th. We have right now this new outbreak happening. This is 12 hours ago by Russian soldiers. How long is it going to take for it to come over to America? That's the point I'm trying to show you real quick. So let's go back to this real quick. I forget where I left it off at. There we go. Let's click on this again. All right, so it says Ukraine has released evidence that the U.S. military is secretly, it's like Russia has released evidence that the U.S. military is secretly working on creating a deadly new in Ukraine biolabs, which will be unleashed onto the public within the next year. Within the next year, and it already happened to these Russians. So again, now is not the time to want to go back and live out your wildest fantasies in the world. Now is not the time to be that next big rap star or whatever else you think you can do in this world. It's nothing for you. The economy's crashing. The damn merchandise is being stopped at the sea. You have new plagues happening on the earth. You got these smaller nations actually advancing in military might and strength and ready to go to war with America. You got different movies coming out and letting you know this is the end of the world. And of course, we always had the scriptures for thousands of years letting us know what's happening on the earth. So again, Israel, we've been warned. It's time to turn back to the Most High and definitely repent and keep His commandments. But brothers got it. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
And real quick, I just want to make a quick point. That when you even look at the Roman Empire, and I brothers went into it on another Watchmen Wednesday, but there was many things, a list of things that really ended the Roman Empire or led to the collapse of the Roman Empire, and disease was one of them, right? And people would call all these things happening right now in the earth the perfect storm, but this is how the Most High operate. This is how He ends. You look at Egypt, how the Most High He brought 10 plagues. They would have called that a perfect storm. All these things happening, but this is how the Most High He brings down a nation, or He brings down a power. He puts certain things into that, whether it be collapse of the economy, war, plague, famine. All of these things are put on the nation when the Most High begins to judge it and wants to allow it and make it collapse. Now, I wanted to share this my screen real quick, just to show you that these things happen in the Roman Empire as well. And there was a certain disease that led to, that scholars believe led to its collapse. Now it's called the Antonine Plague, right? Now it says the Antonine Plague of AD 165 to 180, also known as the Plague of Galen, after Galen, the Greek physician who described it, was a prolonged and destructive epidemic impacting the Roman Empire, possibly, like the brother was just reading, possibly contracted and spread by soldiers who were returning from campaign in the Near East. And like the brother was just reading, these people on the front lines in Ukraine and Russia, they're contracting this disease. So what do you think? There's soldiers over there from the U.S., from NATO, right? From these different countries that are over there that are probably contracting the same disease, right? It says scholars generally believe the plague was smallpox, although measles has also been suggested. And recent genetic evidence strongly suggests that smallpox only arose much later. In AD 169, the plague may have claimed the life of the Roman Emperor Lucius Verus, who was co-regent with Marcus Aurelius. These two emperors had risen to the throne by virtue of being adopted by the previous emperor Antonius Pius. And as a result, their family name, Antonite, whatever, has become associated with the pandemic. Now, I wanted to go to another article just to show you that scholars, they would say that this is what led to the actual decline of the Roman Empire. Right? It says, now this is I'm not going to read the whole source, but it says the National Library of Medicine. So this is a government website, right? Peer reviewed and all of that. It says the Antonine Plague, which flared up during the reign of Marcus Aurelius from 165 AD and continued under the rule of his son Commodus, played such a major role that the pathocynosis in the ancient world was changed. The spread of the epidemic was favored by the occurrence of two military episodes in which Marcus Aurelius himself took part: the Parthian War in Mesopotamia and the wars against the Marcomanni in northeastern Italy, in Noricum and Pannonia. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but the main point is at the end of the whole paragraph. It says the Antonine Plague may well have created the conditions for the decline of the Roman Empire and afterwards for its fall in the West in the 5th century AD. See that? So these plagues that the Most High sent or is sending is what is leading to these different things, leading to more disease. These diseases that the Most High sends, they lead to death. They lead to more disease. They lead to, like the brother was going into, rats and different beasts and vermins coming and just leading to more disease, more death. Right. So these are the things that the Most High He's sending into America, sending it to throughout the whole world to lead to more death. Right. So I wanted to get this precept. The second Ezra 16, and I'm gonna just start at the top. It says, "Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia! Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria! Gird up yourselves with clothes of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it?" This is the point, verse 5. It says, "Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away?" Right? So the Most High, it says, plagues are sent among you, and who can drive them away? So once these plagues start to come, and ever since we seen COVID-19 really coming to the earth, it's been nonstop different, and they haven't been huge epidemics, but there's been nonstop little plagues and little sicknesses that you see pop up, whether they be in Africa or whether they be here or whether they be in the Middle East. But these are all just signs of the Most High. He's stirring up what that spirit of plague, that spirit of death in the earth. Because why? Because we living in those times. Right, I'm gonna skip down to verse 8. It says, "The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?" All right, like I said, the Most High, He's sending these plagues, and like we just read, there's going to be a plague. COVID-19 wasn't really nothing, right? There's going to be a plague that the Most High, He's really going to send, and you're really going to see real death, right? Real destruction come upon the earth. So, brother, got it.
You got it. You talking about?
Con, I want to go a little bit more into that precept because that's the spirit. I was going to say Ezra 16 too. Con, you went to verse 18, right?
Verse 8, I think.
Oh, you said verse 8?
Yeah, Con.
Oh, Con, I'm going to jump to 18 then. It says the beginning, Con, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars and the power shall stand in fear, the beginnings of evil. Oh, sorry, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So, like the brother was breaking down perfectly, hey, the Lord, He'll send these as scourges for amendment. They're not just all going to come at once. You see famine, you see people dropping dead, you see nukes dropping, you see you see all these nations coming against America all at once. No, it's sent as scourges for amendment. That's why we see these little things and we hop on the Watchmen Wednesday and we let you know, hey, look, this is something you got to pay attention to. Don't turn your head away from it. Don't say, oh, this is something little. Oh, it's not that much. oh, it's something that's not, significant. Every little thing that happens is significant. And I'm gonna read that. It says, but I'm gonna read it again. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn away from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So the Lord said that there's going to be men that aren't going to be mindful for these things that are happening. They're going to see these things and they're going to continue on with the day. Hey, the same way that happened in Egypt, man. Hey, the Lord, he sent plagues with Egypt and they stood 10 toes down on what they were doing. You can't be caught up in that mindset. You gotta be mindful of these scourges. Like the brother Casadio was saying, you gotta see these things and you gotta repent. It's not the time to be turned away when you open up your Twitter app and you got Endgame World War III, Disclosed TV, all these whistleblowers and news sites telling you that there's war going on over in the Middle East, that there's war going on in damn North Korea versus South Korea. You can't turn off your phone and say, "Well, I'm gonna continue on with my day." That don't seem like too much. That's nothing that's going on. That's not even that big. You can't see these things. You gotta see these things, and you gotta prepare yourself, man. You gotta prepare yourself spiritually, mentally. Dive into the scriptures even more. Stay on fire. Hey, you gotta be mindful of the scourges, because like the brother said, they're gonna come little and little. The same way the Lord plagued Egypt little by little, hey, it's the same way he's plaguing America. So we gotta see these things and keep watch. Because nothing that we go into is little. But bro's got it.
Calm. All praise to the Most High. Yeah, none of these things are they're not gonna go away overnight. Right? These things may, and the Lord with time, he speeds up time, he slows things down. This past year, things been rapidly speeding up. It's been one event after another event after another event after another event. And the article that Yazra just brought out, Baba Kashad, if you can, send that to me, because that was mighty. I mean, if you really think about it, I believe in one of those articles that you went to, I think it was the first one he went to about that plague, the Antoinette plague. It happened when their military started going east. You got America, what are they doing right now? They going east. You got troops literally in ships over in the Middle East, the Red Sea. They're going to be over to that part of the world. And what happens when they got to come back over to America? And they got a sickness coming over to America. Now the damn U.S. population is infected. So these different things aren't small, right? These different things are the Most High is showing you. Well, they may be, start off small, but over time it's going to build to the whole house collapsing.
Real quick too, I used to play this game on the phone. I don't know if brothers played it before. It's called Plague Incorporated. Right? And you, brother shaking the head. I don't know if you played it before.
No, I have.
No, I'm talking about you're talking about.
I never heard that before.
Nah, it's a game.
In anything, man.
Nah, you did. So it's a game, and you have to try to kill the whole world's entire population with the disease, and it just shows you like that the what am I trying to say? That it starts off real small. See, bro, it starts off real small, but disease, it travels through what? Through different people, because people of the earth don't stay still. People of the earth, they go here, they fly, they take trains. So disease and things like that, it spreads real fast. So you can just see how the Most High, it can work just like that. All it has to do is drop in one place, and then all of a sudden it's around the earth. And it can be just a simple cold, something curable that they can stop real fast. But if it's a disease that they've never seen before, and that's something that's real contagious, it could take the whole world's population just like that.
And John,
you got
Con, I want to say something quick. Even at my job, we had like 5 people call out. because of a sickness where they all describe the same symptoms and all called out at the same time. So, we're going around and we're sanitizing all the workspace. Even in the vehicles we drive, they say, "Hey, look, you gotta." They're giving us these what's it, Lysol? The disinfectant, I think it's Lysol, yeah. And they're saying you gotta sanitize it. You gotta sanitize everything. Hey, so Lord willing, this is big. Lord willing is big, and everything gets shut down. If you have ears to hear. But sorry, you got it, King.
Con, I was gonna say, you even have that movie, Contagion, right? Contagion, and like the brother was saying with that game, the goal is to spread it as much as possible. So with the movie Contagion, that's what happened. It started over in China, then it made its way throughout the world, and we seen that happen with that the virus in 2019. You also want to see this again, right? Because you have right now in China, like we went into, they're being hit with this new variant. You have it over in Russia. You have it over in where else was it at? It was Russia, Europe as well, and it's not going to make that. It's not going to take too much longer to come over to America. So it's definitely something to watch over. I was going to pull up this article, but I actually can't find it. But yeah. So Lord willing, Israel, you really keeping watch. I mean, there's a lot of events that's happening, and like I mentioned, time with fellas to go into each and every single thing. Lord willing, brothers will continue to make videos throughout the week, and especially if there's something alarming and very ground breaking news or major breaking news, we'll come back and we'll let you guys know about it. Definitely. But do brothers got anything else you want to bring up before we wrap up?
No, just closing precepts.
Come.
You guys reviewing the first?
You got it, Ken.
Come.
I go last.
Come. I'm gonna get in there. Slocky. Yeah, that's what I was scared of. Got the old Bible out. I'm about to read off my phone. Revelation. Yeah, I'm missing the last page. Revelation 19, verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. Hey, so the Lord said that the testimony of his spirit is prophecy. Is diving into the scriptures and lining up the things you see going on now with what was foretold of us before. So if you want to have the spirit of Yahushua, you got to dive into prophecy. You got to dive into the things that are going on in the face of the earth. What we need to do when these times come. You can't be a one-dimensional, a so-called one-dimensional Israelite. All you're doing is reading Deuteronomy 28 about how we got here. That's all you're breaking down. All you're breaking down on how the Jews are black. They were black people. They had afros and dark skin. You can't be one-dimensional. This truth is a lot deeper than just knowing that we're the Jews, knowing that we're Israel. It's a lot deeper. This truth is diving into prophecy. It's preparing yourself for the times to come. It's getting your spirit right before the Lord comes back. We were reading it at camp. I'm going to get that precept, because this precept, it went away for a season, but it started coming out. I'll just say that. It started coming out more. Isaiah 55 and 6, it says, Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. So the Lord said we got to seek him while he can be found. The Lord, he's not going to be found forever. You're not going to be able to go on the cold cuts and watch Watchmen Wednesday, go down the list and you're saying, the breakdown for Daniel chapter 10, Daniel chapter 9, what's going to happen in the end times. You're going through all the breakdowns of Revelation. Hey, it's not going to always be here forever. The Lord says you got to seek him while it may be found. So we got to understand, to have the Lord's spirit, we have to dive into prophecy, dive into the things that were told aforetime so we can link it up with what's going on now, so we're not taken astray or taken by surprise when that day comes. So we can prepare ourselves in the best way possible, which is gaining this wisdom and knowledge, because that's going to be the stability in the end times, as the Lord says in Isaiah the 33rd chapter. But brothers got that.
Con. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, right, at verse 34. It says, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting. Now, surfeiting is what? Is doing things in excess, right? You could be over do surfeiting in social media, surfeiting in, like the brother brought out, football, different sports, different things, different. And we're gonna read about it. Cares of this life. This is not the time to be surfeiting and doing things in excess, because again, the times we're living in, this this place is about to go. So you don't want to do things in excess, knowing that these things are about to pass away, right? It says, and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares, right? Sometimes I have to check myself, right? Going into the cares of this life and worrying about bills and worrying about work, and this is a verse that I got to think of, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, because times are tough, right? Brothers got trouble with finances, brothers got families, brothers got kids that they got to think of. But these are, again, these scriptures, they're written for our learning and to keep us grounded, right? So you don't want to be too wrapped up in the care. Again, we have to live here for now, so you have to worry about those things, but you don't want to be caught up and again being over excess of the cares of this life. Why? Because it says that that day come not upon you unawares. Because these things, they can sneak up on you, right? The Lord said He's coming as what? As a thief in the night, right? So you don't want that day to just catch you with your pants down, right? It says, verse 35. It says, for as a snare, which is what? A trap. It says, for as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Verse 36. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. Right? So you gotta ask and pray that you can escape all these things. Right? It's only going to be the Most High that can deliver you from these things, right? But you have to keep watch to know what things are coming to pass, and that they won't don't catch you unawares, because again, it says it's going to come as a trap, as a snare upon all those that dwell upon the face of the earth. So you want to make sure you're keeping watch. Make sure you're watching the things that's coming on the earth, because again, this is the words of the Most High, right? The Most High, He's speaking right now. You want to make sure that you're listening.
Come on. All praise to the Most High. I'm gonna get this in First Thessalonians chapter 5, and I'm gonna get verse 1. Right? First Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse number 1. Slakia. And it reads, First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. So we understand that all hell is about to break loose. We understand that Jacob's trouble is about to kick off. We understand that World War III is here. We understand that these different things are here, and they're only going to increase, these different prophecies that the Most High has told us about from the beginning. So knowing that, like your Oswald just brought out, we want to make sure that we're not worrying about the world, right? We gotta handle our handle, but especially speaking from experience, don't let it overtake you. You got to put that to the side. We too late in the end to want to turn back or worry about those things now, when literally in a matter of seconds, the economy is going to crash. It's going to be a new pestilence on the earth, and hitting Americas might be another lockdown. These different things are going to happen. So the things you worrying about, you stressing over right now, that's not going to matter when all hell breaks loose. That's not going to matter in the day of the Lord. So why the hell would that matter right now? You got to put those things to the side. Do what you can do. Cast your cares upon Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right, and continue to move forward. Right, I'm gonna actually read that again. Verse 2: For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. And I'm gonna actually get this in First Peter. Right, I'm gonna close out with this. This First Peter chapter 5 and verse 7. It says, casting all your care upon him, for he care for you. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. So the Lord said we gotta, be vigilant, right? Being vigilant meaning you're keeping watch. You're being sober in the spirit. You're not giving yourself to drunkenness of the world. You're staying away from the world. And the cares that you do have, the things that cause stress or havoc in your life, you want to cast that upon the Lord and let the Lord handle that for you. You don't want to give yourself over to this world and you wind up smoking a cigarette on the side of the road somewhere because times got hard. And then now you seeing a nuke hit the damn city that you're next to. So you got to repent, you got to fast, you got to make sure you stay in the spirit, make sure you keep and watch and you're reading these scriptures. But with that, this brother Kasadia, of course, we won't give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shem Mashakum like you shy. You got it, Kings.
Oh, brother Azra.
Believe Tazama.
Con, with that, Kwame Sharala, keep watching these last days. Shalom, Ezra.
Shalom.